What is the biggest problem affecting your PDR business? What is the one thing holding you back from taking the next step? What do you need to change to get the business growth you want? All these questions have the same answer. It's your mindset. My name is Corey Kleinfeld, and this is the PDR Coach Podcast, where I coach you on mindset around yourself and your PDR business. Now let's get started.
Welcome back to the PDR Coach Podcast. Today is a quick episode with just myself. It's been probably about 3.5 months since I've recorded an episode for the PDR Coach Podcast. Those of you that followed me know why. Those of you that don't, a lot changed in my life. So my dad, the owner of Dent-Pro for the last 31 years, passed away unexpectedly. I took the business over. In addition with starting the ownership aspect of Dent-Pro, I was starting a Restore FX center as well. And so I laid out all the things I was doing I laid out everything I was doing, and some things hit the chopping block. The podcast was one of them for a while. So I always had bigger goals with the podcast, to turn it into not just paintless dent repair talk, but more automotive reconditioning talk. And so after taking that break, talking to a few other technicians, and finding a sponsor for the show, we did that. So I'm coming on here to say, I guess, thanks for everybody who, I don't think I ever really gave a proper thank you at the end there. I just kind of left. Thanks for everybody who listened for about I think it was 100 episodes exactly. And all the people who supported me said they loved the show, appreciated the time and effort that I put into it. Said that they appreciated the way that I interviewed people. It was awesome. The last 2 years of doing that. So with that, things, when you start something, it doesn't have to stay that way forever. It can expand, grow, change, evolve. Sometimes because external things happen, and sometimes because you want to. So this was a combination of that. It's where I wanted the podcast to go, and we finally made it here. So we recorded our first episode. So the new podcast that I've created with my co-host Ryan Brewer. He owns, actually, funny enough, Dent-Pro USA out of Lafayette, Louisiana. So both Dent-Pros, Ryan Brewer, and he also owns a Restore FX center, fairly successful one as well. And I think actually got the award, which was titled something like Rookie of the Year, or something like that for Restore FX, because he grew so fast. So he knows his stuff, and he's tried all other reconditioning services as well over the years from the conversations we've had. So anyways, Ryan Brewer is joining me, and we're starting a podcast. It's going to be on this feed. We rebranded and we renamed it, and the title of the podcast is Masters of Recon. What we want to do with this podcast is we want it to encompass all aspects of automotive appearance reconditioning. So I don't know if I can name them all, but we'll go paintless dent repair, ceramic coatings, PPF, detail, touch up, Restore FX, wheel repair, all of them. I don't think each one of them is obviously the largest by far, but each one of those other ones doesn't really have enough room for its own podcast. Obviously we've tried it. There's been plenty of paintless dent repair podcasts, and we've all learned a ton from them, obviously. But I think this, with the trend of more paintless dent repair technicians and probably more, for sure, more detail companies adding additional services to their businesses, I think this will be a way for us to get kind of cross-pollinate that info. So when we bring on high-end detailers or detailing companies or ceramic coating places or PPF, touch-up, wheel repair, all those things, Restore FX as well, as Ryan Brewer and I are both Restore FX Center owners. We bring on all those things and talk about those. It'll help, I believe, help the paintless dent repair industry kind of mold into those as well, or maybe even find good referral partners through the podcast network, or be able to start your own, an additional arm of your business or something like that. So that's our goal with it. Bring this entire automotive appearance community together, multi-billion dollar community when you add all of them together. The living that we get to make off of cars, all of us in different ways, is a fantastic thing. And hopefully we can create a spot where we can all come together and share our knowledge instead of just in the paintless dent repair industry. In addition to that, we are starting a Facebook group, Masters of Recon. So if you want to go join that to start out, that would be great. It will be, I never did that with the PDR Coach podcast because, to be perfectly honest, I never had the bandwidth to manage that. And so I didn't do it. But with this one, we have a team, we have help. Ryan Brewer and I are both in there as admins. So yeah, go join the Masters of Recon Facebook group. That's where we'll be able to get all of those different technicians from across the different disciplines into one place to have that conversation that we want to have. And if for some reason you found this and you're not subscribed to this podcast feed, subscribe to it. It was previously called the PDR Coach and now is being rebranded into the Masters of Recon podcast. That's it. That's my announcement. I guess also we have a NorCal Tech meetup happening on June 4th. It's happening at my shop just south of Sacramento. So if you don't follow me on social media or you haven't seen me post about it there, let me know if you want to come. You can RSVP for that on Sacramento Dent Pros with an S at the end, sacramentodentpros.com/NorCal Tech Meetup. NorCal, NORCAL Tech Meetup. And you can RSVP. Food, Anson Truck's coming. Anson Truck's coming, Ultra, Gene Fetty's coming out with Kiko, Mike Toledo's coming up, Daniel Grom with all his NPDR stuff's coming out. Matt Armillo's coming up with the Get a Grip. So it's going to be a pretty fun party. There'll be food, other local technicians, a lot of Dent Pro, Northern California Dent Pro technicians are going to make the trip up here to hang out with everybody. And you can see my shop, my little 3-car shop where we do dent repair and Restore FX out of. So those are my announcements. Again, I appreciate everybody who's listened over the last several years. I hope with me bringing this podcast back, I can actually continue to bring you more value than I even have in the past. So yeah, thank you. The chapter closes on PDR Coach and the next chapter of Masters of Recon opens. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the PDR Coach podcast. If you got any value from this podcast and want to do something for me, then the best way to do that is to subscribe to the podcast and give me a rating and review. If you want to know more about me, then you can find me on Instagram by searching for the PDR Coach, or find me on my website at coachcoryk.com, CORYK.com. Thank you for listening, and I'll be back next week.